Yeah. Jai Baba. Nothing is real but God. Nothing matters but love for God. God is the only reality. All else that seems real is illusory. God and I are one. Meher Baba. Avatar Meher Baba ki Jai. Thanks to beloved Baba and Jai Baba to all of you. We are reading Bal Natu's superb book called The Conversations with the Awakener. And we are on page number 92. 92. All right, go ahead.
New Year's gift, the real ring. It was late on New Year's Eve. I was sitting on a mat and by the light of a lamp was sorting through the contents of an old ebony box. The box, whose wood shone with natural luster, had been in my family for years, and the objects it contained even longer. These were precious heirlooms. My mood at that moment was, however, more frantic than reverent, for among the old scarves, kerchiefs, and pouches which flooded my mind with thoughts of my ancestors and parents, one object of particular importance was missing. In desperation, I was unfolding and folding, untying and tying, opening and closing, searching for that one thing I could not find. What are you looking for so intently? I heard a voice say from behind me. I knew it was you, but because of my anxiety, I answered without turning my head. Excuse me for a minute, please sit down. Immediately, I felt ashamed. I looked at you, and you were smiling at me without admonishing my folly.
All right, go ahead. Go ahead.
I gathered most of the precious hoard between my hands and shoved it into the box, collected a few stray odds and ends, and threw them in after, with the exception of two small pouches, one of which I distractedly jammed into my shirt pocket. I closed the lid on the box and then turned to show you the piece that I had kept out. This was a very old, very fine silk pouch with a pink rose embroidered on it. Your eyes lit up when you saw it and you expressed your admiration of it. I embroidered the pink rose on it myself last year, I informed you, not without some pride. Unfortunately, the thing I made it to hold isn't here. I haven't been able to find it anywhere. That's what I've been searching for this past hour.
All right. Again, the same story that we all go through this. We keep something so carefully and we are not able to find it when we need to find it, isn't it? Many people have this experience that I know I've kept it very safely, but I don't know where it is. I'm sure every one of us have experienced. So your Bal Natuji says that on this fine New Year's Eve, he was just rummaging, in a sense,
Amazing.
rummaging through his ebony is a black colored wood box, an old type of wood box, and he found that one particular item is missing. And as he's just fumbling and putting, what we do is we bring out everything and then again put in everything and then bring out. And that's exactly what he was doing when all of a sudden Baba popped up from nowhere as always and says, you're saying, what are you looking for so intently? And many times it happens that we are so immersed in our own doingness of whatever we are doing that sometimes such an important person coming, we don't pay attention to that. So he replies, Okay. I knew it was you. Obviously, when Baba's voice came across, the author knew it was Baba. But because of my anxiety, because he was so deeply embedded in the search, involved, enmeshed, that anxiety was there. Where is that stuff which I am looking for? I answered without turning my head. So here again, we are showing that most of the time we are so we wear masks and we are so goody goody, we are so nice. But when we are in a fix, when we are in an anxious mood, we do not show the same reverence, the same courtesy, the same love, the same importance. So your Balnatuji says, without turning my head, he said, excuse me for a moment, please sit down. At least that much politeness was there. Please sit down. I'm in the midst of something. I'll attend to you in a moment. Please sit down. And then the rest follows. Okay. Sorry? Sorry? Yeah, Soumya reminds me to say, if you give Baba a second place, you give him no place. That's one of the statements when if you give God a second place, okay, after I'm through with this, I will attend to God. So that means you are giving him a second place, not the paramount important place. And then it is as good as not giving him any place. But again, one other characteristic of aspect of Baba is, in spite of us, in a sense, ill-treating him several times, in several ways, he never condemns us. He never looks down upon us. He never, really pulls us up for that. Very rarely he would do it, and that too for our own good. So here, I looked at you and sit down. He's saying, sit down. And you were smiling at me without admonishing me and my folly, admonishing my folly. It's a folly, but without admonishing my folly. So many times we make so many mistakes, even blunders. And Baba just very calmly, very coolly, he's in a comforting mode rather than in a punishing mode. He's seldom in a punishing mode. And if at all he ever is, it is only to shake us up, to awaken us, and to bring us out of that rut. So then I think there's nothing much to talk about here, except that there was one pink what is it, sachet kind of thing. Is it was a pouch? So he says that I'm the one who embroidered it and all that. And Baba is asking, and what is it that you are looking for? And what is it?
And what is it you asked? A ring, I answered sadly. A valuable ring? Valuable, the best of its kind. It was an heirloom, my most precious possession. It was made of 7 metals. It was set with gems in the pattern of the rising sun. Very charming and very auspicious too. But why
we give, the value of anything is the value that we place on that anything. So there are many things which may not be objectively valuable. For example, Baba's hair, let's say, for example, hair. I mean, what value does it have in terms of matter, in terms of objectively? But subjectively, it is invaluable. Baba's udhi, Baba's sandals, Baba's sadra, Baba's coat. So we must understand that the value of anything in our eyes is the value that we place on that particular thing. So here Balnatuji says that it was a very precious ring, it was studded with gems, and it was this and that, and made out of 7 metals. So for him, that was a very, very valuable uh, item. Yeah.
But why did you happen to be looking for it tonight at the last hour of the year? Because I explained, it is my custom to hold that ring in my hand at the beginning of every new year.
So we also have so many, you may call it superstition, you may call it any kind of, a practice that we do a certain thing at a particular time, and we feel that our next year or next day or next week will go very well. Nothing wrong in it. It's a sort of a, I would say, a positive affirmation that when you do certain things, many people do that, especially ladies, they have a necklace with Baba's pendant, and if they're going through certain difficult times, immediately they would hold the pendant and pray. Nothing wrong in that. So we all have this source of strength which comes from something outside of us. So here he says that I always hold that ring at the end of the year, so that in the so that I hold it, so that my next year goes very well.
It seems to help me let go of the stress of the year past and to fill my heart with joy and energy for the coming year. It is a very significant symbol for me. And now that I have lost it, I feel as though my dream has died.
So this is where one needs to be very careful. As long as that thing gives us a positive vibe, and as long as that thing is serving us, it may be a psychological service, but that's fine. It is helpful to us, it is serving us, it is motivating us to be better, to leave all our past behind and look forward for something positive in the coming year. Up to that level, it is fine. But for whatever reason we lose it, or it breaks, or it whatever, you don't find it, then it should not make us go down the dump. That is very important. There are many there are instances of that, where somebody had a locket, and the locket was lost, and that person was absolutely, long face, and Baba asked, it was a lady, why are you so, sad, you look very sad and all that. And obviously she said that this pendant of mine, it may have been even touched by Baba, we do not know, and it held a very precious, feeling for me, and now it is lost. I do not find it. I cannot find it. That is when Baba had said, that as long as it served you, it is fine. But now, for whatever reason, you see, the source of your positivity, the source of your strength should be from within you. These are just symbols. These are just external items, articles, whatever you call it, they are fine. But if they are not there, you should not go down the dump. And then Baba said, see, I am in your presence. When see, the God is physically present before you, and you are giving importance to that little pendant which had been hanging on your neck for Adam's years or whatever that is. So that kind of discrimination one should have. That as long as it serves you, it's fine. If for whatever reason it has been lost or broken or stolen or whatever it is, again you have to create another positivity from your own being. And if you want to replace it with something else, do it. No harm in that. But do not go down the dump simply because something you have lost or stolen or broken, or it is no more there with you. So that kind of balance Baba is trying to teach us.
You looked probingly at me, seeing my turmoil. Then you asked calmly, is it the loss of the ring, the symbol, that distresses you, or your attachment to it that worries you? The question stumped me. Sorry?
See, the question is, because of our attachment, because of our dependence, because of our reliance on that symbol, on that objective symbol, and now it is not there, we feel very jittered. That should not be there. Go ahead.
The question stumped me. Sorry, I said. I'm not sure I understood you. Is there something wrong with the symbol of the rising sun? The symbol is not bad, but your dependence and attachment to it is not good.
Repeat that sentence. See, this is Baba saying, the symbol is not bad, but your dependence and attachment to it is not good.
When you imbue any symbol with rigid meaning, a personal interpretation, and isolate yourself in your fancies, the significance of the symbol is defiled. Oh my God.
So when you are imbuing, when you are permeating, when you are impregnating that particular object, that particular symbol with some significance, you see, and then you are separating yourself from the whole. I'll repeat this. When you imbue any symbol with rigid meaning, anything that is rigid breaks us. One needs to be very fluid and flexible in our life, because at the end of the day, everything is an illusion. Let's understand that. So when you imbue any symbol with rigid meaning, a personal interpretation, and isolate yourself in your fancies, it is a personal, we are putting a certain amount of value to it which it does not have. We have done this in discourses earlier on, that giving something more importance than what is due. The significance of the symbol is defiled. You are defiling the significance of the symbol. Any symbol, any, should only uplift you, should only uphold you, should only support you, should only serve you, should only push you towards the truth, towards the whole, towards being self-reliant, or whatever you call it. Anything positive. If that same symbol is going to turn negative because you lost, or because something stolen or broken or whatever it is, then that symbol is going to put you down. So Baba says there's nothing wrong with symbol. But the problem is with your attachment and dependence on it.
The symbol is not bad,
Okay.
but yeah. Perhaps there is something wrong with symbolism altogether, I ventured. I never condemn anything, you replied. I am everything. But I want you to understand the proper role of symbols in your life so that you will neither over or underestimate their importance.
So here again, two powerful words. I never condemn. Baba never condemns anything, because Baba is everything. So he cannot condemn himself. But he is giving us a sort of a balance, a sort of a poise or equanimity, where Baba is saying, I never condemn anything. I am everything. But I want you to understand the proper role of symbols in our life, in your life. Everybody has some kind of pet symbols, and you derive your strength from it, you derive your energy from it, you derive your positivity from it. Nothing wrong in that. But I want you to understand the proper role of symbols in your life so that you neither over or underestimate their importance. In other words, again, Baba is bringing home the point of balance. One should be balanced. One should not be so over dependent on him, that on the symbol, that when the symbol is lost, you are totally finished. We know of, the the story of a Barbie doll, let's say, or a teddy bear. When you are young, you're so attached to it, so very dependent on it. You can't sleep without it. And one fine day, if the mother or whosoever just throws out the Barbie doll out of the window, what is the condition of that child? So we are so overtly dependent and overtly attached to that. That is not what Baba wants us to be. He wants us to be balanced.
You are saying that I don't have a balanced view of this. But how am I to acquire it? By not allowing symbols to dominate you.
Again, sorry, I'm interrupting. By not allowing symbols to dominate you. When we had done the chapter on astrology and astronomy, similar thought process Baba had said. They are there. They have their own importance. They have their own influence, but they cannot dominate you. You are the final authority of your own luck, fate, nasib, taqdeer. We may even call destiny, right? So they are there, perfectly okay, but do not allow them to dominate you. Most of us do that, that unless we do this puja, my day will be spoiled. Unless I do this ceremony, unless I go to this temple and do ghanta, whatever it may be. I'm not belittling anything. What I'm trying to say, we become slaves of these things. And Baba is here to awaken us from all these things and make us strong and self-made in a sense, rather than depending upon some symbols or some ceremonies or some rituals or whatever, some objects.
The loss of your ring, the heirloom, should not have disturbed you so much. The one who gives symbols knows when to take them away. The right attitude towards symbols is to understand that they are directing you to something real that is beyond them. So don't try to fill your life with them or cling to them, but when they come to you, respect them without being overly influenced by them.
So here again, yeah, even in one of the chapter, I think it is not in the same book, but in the same series, where Baba says, am I not free to take away the things which I have freely given you? So everything is freely given to us. We never brought anything in this world. We came naked, so to speak. Everything that we have acquired is from this world. And who has given it to us? For us, it is Baba who has given it to us. So is he not free to take away freely what he has freely given to us? That's another chapter. We'll come to that as and when. So here Baba says, how do you, Balnatuji is asking, so you say that I am imbalanced, I am not balanced. How do I acquire the balance? So Baba is giving the answer how to acquire a balanced life, where even though we may be having certain symbols, we should not be attached to them or not be dependent upon them. Baba says, by not allowing symbols to dominate you, the loss of your ring, the heirloom, should not have disturbed you so much. In another episode, Baba talks about a very expensive pen. This is an example given by Baba. Hey, you are having a very, very, very expensive pen, and it has been given to you by somebody very close to you. And so not only the external expensive pen, but also also the sentiments attached to it. So you are having it, and one fine day you lose it. Somebody steals it. So you should not be so very attached to it that your entire life is finished. After all, it was just a pen. That's what Baba explained. Yeah, as long as it was there, it served you. Now it is not there. It's fine. You buy another one, get another one. So in the same way, Baba says, the loss of your ring, the heirloom, should not have disturbed you so much. The one who gives symbol, capital O-N-E, the one who gives symbols knows when to take them away. So Baba gives us certain gifts and he knows when to take them away in order for us to be free of it, and then Baba may give us something better or may not give us. It's up to him. The right attitude towards symbols is to understand that they are directing you to something real. The symbols direct us to something real that is beyond them. The real is beyond the symbols, and symbols are only the signpost. They are only like milestones, you can say, where they are directing you and leading you towards the goal, towards that which is real. So don't try to fill your life with them or cling to them. But when they come to you, respect them without being overly influenced by them. Again, the same one word, balance, not to be totally affected by it.
Are there certain categories of symbols which are especially significant? Countless, but you have to have an eye to discern them. Then a time may come when every pebble can be jewel for you, and its shape and color convey unspoken messages.
Because Baba's messages can come to us in a variety of ways. All that we need to do is to be, as Baba says, keep an open eye is to be alert, aware, mindful, and in constant communion with Him, in communication with Him. And then even a pebble, even a stone, even something which is externally or materially insignificant can convey a very profound message to us.
This was too much for me, and it must have shown in my expression because you smiled indulgently.
You smiled indulgently, tolerantly. Means he could feel that poor fellow is not able to understand what I'm trying to convey. So he just smiled, knowing that it's a tolerating mood. Baba was in a tolerating mood.
What I mean, you continued, is that you shouldn't become bound for ideology, of which there are many. Ideology constricts your understanding of the real potentials of symbols. I still felt I was in over my head. Your
It was
words,
all going over his head, what Baba was trying to convey.
your words often land me in deep waters, I said, shaking my head hopelessly.
So,
You,
yeah, go ahead.
you looked amused, but if you know how to swim, you may dive as well as you can and return to the surface, bringing the significance with you as part of your life. Maybe I'm grasping at straws while I should be diving. But could you just tell me, of all the symbols, is there one in particular which is the greatest? Yes, you answered at once and with a natural ease. There is, and you already have it.
So Baba says there is one symbol which you all have it, and that is the most precious, most important symbol of all the symbols that you may hold.
I was amazed. I have it? Are you joking? I'm not. The greatest symbol of all is the ring. The ring? What sort of ring? You always look outward, and so you are not aware of it. For this ring is within you, within everyone. At the time of birth, I breathe life, my spirit, into your being. The ingoing and outgoing breath that circles and sustains your life is the ring and the matchless symbol.
So here Baba is referring to our breathing in and breathing out, which is like a ring, which is like a ring. We breathe in and breathe out. We breathe in and breathe out. And that is the most precious symbol of all symbols that Baba has given to each one of us. Because at the moment of our birth, he breathes his breath, in a sense,
Spirit.
into his spirit, yeah, into our being, and that continues till we breathe our last. And if we are in tune with that ring, with that symbol, in other words, my interpretation would be that if we take Baba's name with every breath, as Baba has said, har dam mera yaad karo. Har dam means with every breath we are supposed to remember him. And Baba had once explained in one of the Sahavasis, that's what I was informed by somebody, that Baba actually demonstrated that when you breathe in, you say Ba, and when you breathe out, you say Ba. That means Ba, 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 Ba. And you do it so naturally, so spontaneously, so effortlessly that it becomes automatic, it becomes a practice, it becomes second nature for you, to such an extent that even in your sleep, you are saying Baba without knowing that you are saying Baba.
If this breath continues to circle in my remembrance, it becomes the real ring, truly worth seeking. It is this to which all symbols and all signs are pointing.
So all the symbols in the world, all the rings, all the jewels, all the lockets, all the whatever you are maybe tabish and all that you may be wearing are insignificant as compared to this particular symbol, and that is the ring of Baba's remembrance. And all these are actually there pointing towards this one, because ultimately at the end of the day, all these symbols are supposed to lead us to the goal of truth, the goal of reality, which means to the breadth of reality. So in other words, Baba says that all those other symbols are actually leading you to this one symbol, which is his breath, which is the ring of his remembrance.
Matchless.
Matchless?
Symbol.
Okay.
Radiantly beautiful, your gaze fell upon me benignly. I sat there gaping, speechless, overwhelmed by your presence. You broke the mood by asking me offhandedly, by the way, what's that green string hanging out of your shirt pocket?
He had just, when in a hurry, he had just put some pouch in his pocket just to make way for Baba to sit and then talk.
I glanced down and noticed a strand of dyed wool cord with a ball and tassel at the end of it. An empty pouch, I answered, feeling glum again. I must have stuck it in my pocket while I was putting things away. Saying this, I took the pouch out of my pocket and, to my amazement, felt something solid inside of it. Oh my God! Oh my God! Eureka! It's here! It's here! I cried. What? The ring that I was desperately searching for. My spirits soared. I remembered in a flash that while I had been embroidering the pink rose on the silk pouch the year before, I had placed the ring in this other, plainer bay and obviously forgotten it.
Many times it happens that we forget it, and then afterwards we get so joyful that, oh my God, now I remember I had placed it there.
Are you happy now? You asked. Happy? I'm ecstatic. And you responded casually with a remark that has stayed with me ever since. The end of real seeking is to know that nothing was ever lost.
So beautiful. The end of real seeking is to know that nothing was ever lost, because nothing can ever be lost. Everything just is. It is just that we have been giving wrong values to wrong things and importance to different things. At the end of the journey, the experience is, of course, I have not experienced, you have not experienced, but intellectually, Baba says, the end of the journey is that you have never journeyed, that there is no such thing as creation, that you always were, are, and ever will remain the same Paramatma, or whatever name that we want to give. So that is the last. Can you read that again? The end.
The end of real seeking is to know that nothing was ever lost. I still have not fathomed the depth of its meaning. Then you smiled and added, if you are happy, may I go now? Almost at once, my eyes clouded with tears. How can you ask me that? How could I wish you to leave? But yes, goodbye. But don't stay away too long. And please forgive me for my impudent greeting. Tears of sadness were now mingled.
Impudent is disrespectful.
Tears of sadness were now mingled with tears of joy and gratitude. Today, you have disclosed to me the real ring you gave me at my birth. Please guide me to be aware of it in my day-to-day life in your playful remembrance.
Very beautiful combination of words. Playful remembrance. That's what Baba wants us to remember him wholeheartedly, lovingly, joyfully. Not like Baba would say, not like garlic faced, or we have to remember, so I'm remembering. No, in a very sahaj, spontaneous, natural, joyful, he uses the word playful way, we need to remember him. We need to make him our constant companion in whatever role that we want him to be, as a friend, as a father, as anything that you want him to be. So, but it has to be spontaneous. It should not be mechanical. It should not be very studied. It should not be, oh, somebody said I should do this, so let me try, get up and take his name for 10 minutes, 15 minutes without any feeling. It may or may not help.
You gave me a smile of reassurance which transmitted absolute certainty. Like its soft feather, it gently touched the breath sustaining my being, and I felt the real ring circling within me. At that very moment, the bells in the tower chimed in the new year. What a peerless new year gift! With your grace, may I be worthy of it. The bells were ringing loudly to herald the new year. My heart was singing softly, ushering in a new rhythm so sure.
So here the emphasis was on the real ring, the breath, the ring of remembrance. Any questions, anything to share? We have a lot of time. We'll let me see. No, I know we will, but I'm just wondering whether how much I should interrupt. Okay, so now we are doing another superb chapter called Read Me. Read Me, and it's on page number 99.
It was morning, my customary time for taking a walk, but my nose was in a big book. The contents were fascinating. Avidly, I read page after page, not discouraged in the least by my inability to understand them even partially.
Many times we do that. We read something, we may not be really understanding what we are reading. Avidly would mean greedily, trying to read as much as you can. Some subject which we are not even aware what we are reading. But that has become a practice with so many people, they will read the newspaper from the beginning to the end just because they have to do something and pass time. They may not even recollect what they read after the whole newspaper is read out. All right.
Another large book on an entirely different subject rested on the table beside me. It had kept me awake long into the late hours the night before. Suddenly, my absorption was penetrated by gentle, rhythmic tapping on the table. Looking up, amazed, I saw you sitting across from me. My heart leaped with joy. It's surprising to find you so intent on reading, you said, with a glint of amusement in your eyes.
Glint would mean a flash of light is glint. And Baba's eyes were always flashing. Yeah.
It's surprising to me as well, I replied, smiling. What are you reading about? You inquired. First, let me explain. My mood turned somber as I felt I had something quite serious to relate to you. Two of my learned friends think that I am a bit of a simpleton. However, they also allow that I have the potential to be clever and to be a more practical sort of a person if I am willing to make some effort. They have suggested that I read at least a few books which they have selected for me to help me become a more knowledgeable person. Yesterday, they paid me a visit and each of them brought a large volume for me to study.
Many times it happens that our peer, our friends and people around us who consider us as very naive, as very simpleton, and they would say, no, this type of living will not help. You must read, you must become knowledgeable. And here two of the friends have brought volumes of books, and dumped it on him and said, you must read this. This will give you a very good knowledge.
And what are these books about? To ask eagerly. I felt a surge of pride and self importance. One is about astrophysics, and the other is about metaphysics.
Metaphysics would be philosophical, something to do with the inner being, and astrophysics, something to do with the outer world, something astrology connected with that. Yeah.
Your look seemed to sharpen with appreciation. Interesting. One deals with the outer space in creation, and the other with the inner realms of mind. Really very enchanting and intriguing subjects. But even as I said this, I felt a kind of leadness come over me.
Leadness would mean heaviness come over. Yeah.
But at the same time, I confessed, actually, in a complaining tone. The immensity of these ideas is so staggering that I wonder if I'll ever be able to grasp them. But do you really need to grasp them?
Very pertinent question. Do you really need to grasp them? Do we really need to know everything about everything? This do you really need comes across another thought which has nothing to do with reading. I remember a friend of mine who retired and he wanted to have an easy life, but then the company again wanted to employ him. And he was in a dilemma as to what should I do now, whether I should again rejoin as a consultant advisor or just spend my time with Baba. And so he finally went to Baba's Mandali, and Mani was the one who asked this question: do you really need money? And he says, no, I'm quite sufficient, well off. I mean, I can manage the rest of my life, And Mani never said, do it or don't do it. That question itself was so pertinent that the question itself gave the answer that there was no need for me to continue in service. So this is Baba asking, do you really need to know this?
Any book on science is connected with so many other related fields. The connections are endless. For you, serious study of these things is neither necessary nor
It
possible.
is neither necessary nor possible. When Baba went to the West, people talked about all kinds of austerities and yoga and so penances and meditation and all that. And at that time, I'm talking about the 30s, Baba said this is not at all necessary for you. So to each one, depending upon each one's aptitude, capabilities and capacities, Baba would suggest what the person needs to do. We don't need to do just because somebody else is doing, because each one of us are differently made.
For you, serious study of these things is neither necessary nor possible, not your cup of tea at all. It was a relief and a consolation for me to hear this, but I was still nagged by the thought of myself projected onto me by my friends as being an ignoramus.
Ignoramus is totally uninformed, ignorant, because my friends have projected this feeling in me that I am totally uninformed about the ways of the world, and therefore I wanted to show off and say that, oh, now I am also informed.
Then, then what is the solution for me? I pleaded. A look of deep concern showed from your eyes, and at the same time, you radiated authority. I am the pivotal point, the junction where the domains of inner and outer space meet. In me, they touch, activate, and deflect. This is one of the wonders of creation. My loving remembrance lights the lamp that is positioned at this point and shows the seekers their ways to come to me. The light that emanates from this point will save you from getting lost in inquiries that do not relate to your life. This light will also direct you to take the path which is the most natural way for you to approach me.
Now, I would like to read this again because Bal Natuji was wanting to read astrophysics and metaphysics, which is external and internal. And here Baba says, a look of deep concern shone from your eyes, and at the same time, you radiated authority. I am the pivotal point, the junction where the domains of inner and outer space meet. The domains of inner and outer space meet. Baba explains later on, which we will come to. In me, they touch, activate, and deflect. Deflect would mean deviate. They touch, activate, and deflect. This is one of the wonders of creation. My loving remembrance, my loving remembrance lights the lamp that is positioned at this point and shows the seekers their ways to come to me. That means if we are in constant remembrance of Baba, that point will light our way to Him. rather than getting what we call waylaid, bhatkawed here and there. It would give us a clear direction of what we are expected to do in order to have the shortest, safest way to Him. The light that emanates from this point will save you from getting lost in inquiries that do not relate to your life. Everything relates to our life. Depending upon our own mold of sanskaras or impression, we get attracted or distracted from a certain pathway. So each one has a different pathway. And many of us, in order to please our peers or somebody else, we go to a pathway which is not at all meant for us. So just because somebody has done a certain spiritual exercise, a certain spiritual course, or whatever, whether it is spiritual or not, I do not know. Whatever it is. So we feel that, oh, my friend has done it, let me also do, let me also do. So your Baba said the light that emanates from this point will save you from getting lost in inquiries that do not relate to your life. This light will also direct you to take the path which is the most natural way for you to approach me. Baba has emphasized natural way of approaching him rather than getting into what Baba himself termed spiritual gymnastics in order to reach him. Most natural, loving, joyful way to reach him.
My mind was spinning. Can you explain this in simpler terms? I asked humbly. You nodded obligingly. Do you go to sleep every night? Of course. All right. Are you aware at any time of the point through which your wakefulness merges into sleep, or later through which it emerges back to wakefulness? And do you realize that this timeless point in you is the infinitesimal reflection of the point I referred to? No, I wasn't aware of that.
See, now Baba says that in Baba there is a point where the inner and the outer meets. For us also, in us also, there is an infinitesimally small, that means so immeasurably small point as compared to that point. And that point is in each one of us. And that point is what? That from the awake state, we go into the deep sleep state, sorry. That point we are not able to catch. In one moment I am awake, the next moment I am asleep. In the same way, one moment I am asleep, the next moment I am awake. So Baba is asking whether you are aware of that point, whether you know of that point, which of course is extremely minute as compared to my point, but are you aware? And Balnatuji said, no, I wasn't aware of that.
But don't you feel sure, in spite of your not being aware of it, such a point exists in you?
Such a point exists in us that one moment I am conscious, the other moment I am not. Both ways, going into the sleep and coming out of sleep.
It should be there, I admitted cautiously. Similarly, there is the point through which the inner and outer spaces have come out of me and merged in me. I felt that I would need more than a lifetime to grasp the meaning of what you were saying. Seeking firmer ground, I revived the original topic of our conversation. But we are only talking about reading books, I said. You looked at me lovingly, no doubt aware that I was faltering, and you gently intoned.
See, this is what we also do. When somebody is talking about a subject which is Greek and Latin for us, we are not able to understand. So here Balnatuji says, very politely, that I think it will take a lifetime for me to understand what you want to convey. And now, in order to come to a firmer ground where I can communicate with you, we do that. We bring a topic where we are comfortable about talking. So he again brings back the topic about the reading of the books, which is his topic, which he can easily converse with Baba. Many times we do that, when things are very much above the head, sorry? Yeah, we just show that you just shoo away that topic and talk about something where we can relate comfortably. So that's what he did. But Baba says hesitatingly. The word used is falteringly. Falteringly means it is hesitatingly. You brought that point back for discussion.
Don't go by books, don't go by what people say, but do not hesitate to follow where your heart earnestly leads you, and you will have a surprise.
This is what Baba is intoning here.
I was grateful that you had come back to my level. What sort of a surprise? I asked. The sense of intimacy you had established between us made me feel free to ask. Wonder loses its charm when disclosed.
Baba is saying that don't bother about this, don't, and if you do this, then there's a surprise waiting for you. And Balnatuida, what sort of surprise? And what a superb reply Baba is giving. That wonder loses its charm when it is disclosed. Surprise is a surprise. If I disclose what's a surprise, it is no more a surprise.
But what is it that you wish to convey to me through these lines? Be honest and don't imitate anyone.
It's important. Be honest and don't imitate anyone.
However great that person may be. How long are you going to see and bear with the eyes and hear with the eyes and ears of others?
Because if we imitate somebody, we are actually seeing the world and hearing of the world through his eyes and ears. How long are you going to be a hypocrite and imitate somebody else? So be natural and be yourself.
How long do you wish to be influenced and carried away by the thoughts and feelings of others? Open the wings of your heart to fly straight to me. Seeing my questioning expression, you continued. Let me share an anecdote with you. See if you understand the meaning of it. One inspired person used to share his views freely with others, and people appreciated the things he said very much. But to keep them from blindly accepting his every utterance, he told his friends to inscribe the following epitaph on his tombstone: don't follow my followers.
It's very important. Don't follow my followers. Don't follow my followers. Even Baba would sometimes say, when people would come to for advice, Baba would ask Erach or Mani or Adi senior to, okay, you attend to them. But Baba would say, just because they have given you the advice does not mean that it's coming from me. You have to use your own heart, your own feeling, and do what your heart tells you. Don't follow my followers. Yeah.
I see. This genius possessed a great sense of humor. Initially, he had wanted his epitaph to read, beware of my followers, but he felt this was too harsh. I was struck. The story had a very inspiring message for me. I should not follow anyone or expect anyone to follow me.
I should not follow anyone or expect anyone to follow me. Each one is differently wired, differently made, different set of samskaras. So be natural and be your own.
Coming to you is indeed a single file journey undertaken with an honest heart. You smiled with a look of pleasure, but then teased, you don't want to be a learned scholar honored by the masses?
So Baba is teasing. That was always the habit, He would just pull the legs of people and said, so you don't want to be a learned scholar now anymore after hearing me out?
Please let me remain a simpleton with an intimate trust in you. I am not going to read any more volumes like the ones that are on my table.
Many times, for many disciples, Baba had instructed not to read any spiritual book. For certain people, he said not to read anything. That was only for a short time, Manzile being period and all that. But even certain people, Baba said, do not read any other magazines and everything, but don't read spiritual books. Because maybe, obviously, Baba must have felt that when you read too much of so-called spirituality, you get so confused that ultimately you are neither here nor there. So just follow one track of Baba.
You may or may not, but don't condemn those who read a lot and study. What you condemn in others, you invite for yourself.
What you condemn in others, you invite for yourself. That means one should never condemn anybody, just the way as you should never slander or backbite anybody. Because Baba said, Kabira says, Ninda hamari jo kare, dost hamara hoy, bin pani, bin sabun, mail hamara dhoy. In a nutshell, if you slander or backbite somebody, you are actually attracting that person's negativity towards you. So why would you do that? So same way, do not do not condemn anybody. What you condemn is you invite
for
for
yourself.
yourself.
Each one's path to me is different. Reading in moderation for entertainment or for practical information is all right. But reading that inspires you to be more selfless is the best kind of reading for you or anyone. It soothes me to hear this. A sense of wonder at your all encompassing love swept over me. You seemed to feel my rising mood and advanced quickly to stay a step ahead of me. But better still would be to read me.
So this is the heading of the chapter. You may read this, you may read that. Do not condemn people who read it. Read something light, read something entertaining, read something which is practical for your day-to-day life and all that. But the best of all the reading is read me.
My script needs no letters, no alphabet. My language is a universal language. It expresses itself through sights, sounds, tastes, touch, through everything. If you have eyes to see, you can see it everywhere.
That means cultivate the art of seeing the presence of Baba in everyone and everything. And that we have to cultivate. We have to cultivate that with the sense of, feeling that Baba is in everyone and everything.
Please teach me to read this language. How beautiful it would be to see your messages displayed everywhere, and I resolved at that moment to return my friends' books to them with thanks, but without disclosing the secret treasure which they had inadvertently brought to me.
They had brought inadvertently the treasure of Baba's presence. Because of those bulky volumes of books that Baba came and all these dialogues went by, and then he felt that now, thank you, returning the book. But unbeknown to them, they were the source, they were the cause of this wonderful chapter.
I am happy with your readiness and eagerness to read the real book. Understanding of the heart is awakened by reading me, and this unveils at the right moment the real significance of happenings in the outer world as well as those of the inner world, the creation of matter and mind. And I assure you, and anyone else who wishes to read me, of my timely help.
So here we have always experienced Baba's timely help. Many times we go through a lot of turmoil, but at the last moment, Baba comes to our help. So here Baba says, learn the art, cultivate the art of reading me, of being able to see me in each one and in everything. That is where we develop love, we develop tolerance, we develop acceptance, we develop forgiveness, we develop a sort of feeling which that over who can say that just wells up within us, from within us, seeing Baba in everyone and everything. And Baba said, if you do that, I assure you that I am always with you. My timely help is always with you.
Then, casting an encouraging glance at me, you left. The significance of each of your visits is beyond the reach of my understanding. Sometimes I close my eyes and grope for words, but only a few tears come trickling down my cheeks, signifying that the words melt before reaching expression.
So beautiful. Words melt before reaching expression, and that is why the melting of the word comes through tears.
Your words, however, read me, are indelibly etched on my heart. May your blessings guide me to read you more and more.
In
Indelibly.
Indelibly means that which cannot be erased, cannot be effaced, cannot be rubbed off, cannot be just erased or effaced, you can say. So that Baba's words, read me, has been so strongly etched in my heart that it can never be erased. And then, may your blessings guide me to read you more and more. Let those blessings come to each one of us as well, that Baba's blessings on us guides us to see him, to read him, to know him in each and everything. Thank you, Baba. Anybody has anything to ask? Say we are just about 6:30. Yes, Neelam. Go ahead,
जय
Neelam.
हाँ जय बाबा।
Jai Baba.
टिफिन लेक्चर में मैंने आपसे प्रश्न किया था भारत में जन्म लेने वाला जन्म के बारे में।
Okay.
तो मुझे बाबा ने शायद बुक्स मेरे को मिलवा दी है वो बुक। एक बुक का नाम है जीवन रहस्य और इसमें लिखा हुआ है अवतार मेहर बाबा के गॉड स्पीक तथा अन्य प्रमुख ग्रंथों के आधार पर। और ये अन्ना खन्नाले जी की लिखी हुई बुक है। इसमें पेज नंबर 59 पर मैं 8 लाइनें आपको पढ़ के बता सकती हूँ इस समय।
जस्ट शॉर्ट संक्षिप्त में। हाँ,
संक्षिप्त में, पुरातन काल से भारत विश्व की आध्यात्मिक भूमि रही है। भारत में जन्म होना यह गौरव का और भाग्य का लक्षण है, क्योंकि ऐसा व्यक्ति अंतिम लक्ष्य के पास, ब्रैकेट में लिखा है परमेश्वर प्राप्ति के पास पहुंचा हुआ होता है। अमेरिका, यूरोप, अफ्रीका और अन्य देशों में जिन सत व्यवहारिक लोगों का जन्म हुआ होगा, वह यदि इस जन्म में अच्छे कर्म करेंगे तो उनका आगामी जन्म भारत में होगा। भारत में जन्म लेने वाले व्यक्ति ने यदि बुरे कर्म को एकत्रित किया और अहंकार के संग्रह को बढ़ाया तो उसका जन्म यूरोप, अमेरिका तथा आध्यात्मिक दृष्टि से पिछड़े हुए देश में होगा, ऐसा बाबा ने कहा है। जय बाबा।
I got your point. I'm saying in Hindi, मेरे पढ़ने में ये कभी भी कहीं भी नहीं आया है, एंड डेफिनेटली ये गॉड स्पीक्स में नहीं है, डिस्कोर्सेस में नहीं है, ये हमारे अन्ना खंडाले जी का इंटरप्रिटेशन है, एंड अकॉर्डिंग टू माय अंडरस्टैंडिंग इट इज नॉट करेक्ट। अकॉर्डिंग टू माय अंडरस्टैंडिंग ये सही नहीं है। देयर आर क्वाइट अ फ्यू पॉइंट्स, क्योंकि अभी तो फिलहाल अन्ना जी नहीं रहे हमारे साथ, बट आई हैड communicated to him when he wrote the book in English also, लाइफ का जो रहस्य के बारे में इंग्लिश में जो लिखा था, उसमें भी बहुत सारी गलतियां थी, excuse my saying this, and I had a heart to heart talk with him telling him कि ये जो आपने लिखा है वो सही नहीं है। So according to me ये सही नहीं है।
उनका ये अनुमान
ये
है,
अनुमान है, इंटरप्रिटेशन
अनुमान है, क्योंकि
बट इट इज नॉट सो।
मतलब अवतरण एशिया खंड में हुआ है, इसलिए इंडिया नहीं, ऐसा नहीं।
इवन इन इंग्लिश ऑल्सो देयर आर क्वाइट अ फ्यू इंटरप्रिटेशन जो उनका है आफ्टर डेथ का जो रिलेशनशिप उन्होंने बताया है, वो ये भी मेरा इंटरप्रिटेशन है कि इट इज नॉट करेक्ट, और मैंने उनको साफ बताया था, एंड समहाउ बट इट कंटिन्यूज। हाँ, सो आपका जवाब में मैं आई विल स्टिल होल्ड माय सेम व्यू पॉइंट कि ऐसा ये जो आपने पूछा वो सही नहीं है अकॉर्डिंग टू मी। ठीक है, ओके, थैंक यू। जय बाबा, जय बाबा। Anybody else has anything to share? Any question? She had attended our एक मिनट, एक खाली जस्ट टू गिव अ रेफरेंस, थर्सडे को टिफिन लेक्चर्स के ऊपर मुझे कुछ बोलना था, हिंदी में बोलना था, थोड़ा कठिन था, बट समहाउ बाबा ने संभाल लिया। सौम्या वाज रीडिंग द इंग्लिश वर्जन और मैं हिंदी में उसका एक्सप्लेनेशन दे रहा था। तो यहाँ प्रश्न उठा था, तो मैंने बोला नहीं है, लेट मी नो द सोर्स। तो उन्होंने जो सोर्स दिया है, दैट सोर्स इज नॉट एन ऑथेंटिक सोर्स। Whenever I say source, I mean an authentic source, which means Baba, and not Baba's Mandali, or definitely not anybody as Baba lover. I may say anything, but that's not an authentic song. Aji Dinesh ji, आप कुछ पूछना चाहते हो?
हाँ, नहीं, जय बाबा करना चाहता हूँ।
जय बाबा, जय बाबा.
Jai Baba.
Okay, then I think we close the day. Close for the day. Thank you very much. Thank you, beloved Baba.
Avtar Meher.
Avtar Meher.
अवतार मेहर बाबा की
बाबा
जय.
की जय।
Jai Baba. Jai Baba.